So you've got your social media channels set up, you know what to post about, you're getting regular posts out, and you've gained some followers. In this video, we're going to look at three slightly more advanced topics on social media. We're going to look at running paid ads on social media, handling negative reviews or feedback on social media, and how to track the performance of all the effort that you're putting into your social media campaign. Now, these are areas where clinics really stumble. Maybe you've experimented with paid ads on social media, it hasn't worked, and you've thought this is a waste of money. Maybe you've had negative comments on your social media or a negative review that's really thrown you off of track. Or maybe you're just not sure whether you're putting this effort into social media and you're just shouting out to nobody, or whether it's really resulting in more patients for your clinic. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the tips and best practices that we use as a clinic marketing agency to make sure that your social media is profitable and works for you. Make sure to like and subscribe before you watch the rest of the video, and be sure to watch it all the way through to the end, where we've got some really useful tips about responding to feedback on your social media. Section 1, Facebook and Instagram advertising. Now, why is Facebook and Instagram and social media advertising, as opposed to just organic posts, important for your clinic? You've probably realized that not every follower that you've got is going to see every post. Paid social media ensures that our content is seen and we can target it to exactly the right people we want to reach out to. For example, if you're a pediatric clinic, you could run an advert to only parents, only a certain household income, and only within a certain radius of your clinic. That allows you to target your market absolutely perfectly and get your content out to the people who are going to become your patients. Social media advertising is also comparatively cheap. You can run a social media ad for £4 or £5 a day and still be really effective in reaching a new audience. 40% of people who have bought something from an advert they saw on social media, including me. That could mean more patients and more growth for your clinic. So here we are in Meta Ads Manager, and the first thing that we will see when we set up a new campaign is it's going to ask us to choose a campaign objective. So that's where we're telling it exactly what we're hoping to get as the outcome of that campaign. Is it just to get more traffic? Or we want people to engage with our page, or are we looking for leads and sales? I'm going to pick leads there for now, and let's carry on forwards. Then it will see that it sets us up a new campaign. Now, this is the structure of Meta Ads. It's that you have a campaign. Within that campaign, you can have multiple ad sets. And then within that ad set, you can have multiple adverts. So that allows you to test different things against each other, or to use different ad sets in order to target different markets or promote different services. So we're going to create a dummy back pain campaign. And here we're going to see it's got our campaign objective of leads. Here we can set the budget, so we can set either a daily budget or we can set a budget for the lifetime of that campaign. So let's leave this on a daily budget for now. We can set A/B testing options, which we'll just leave for now. And special ad categories are for things like political campaigns and that sort of thing. So there we go. Financial, employment, housing, and social campaigns. So we're going to satisfy ourselves that we're not doing any of those, and then we will move on to the next step, which is creating the ads set. So let's just name that ad set 1. Now that might be, in your case, that might be if we've got a back pain campaign, that might be the campaign for people who've got back pain from sitting at a desk. So we're just going to call that ad set 1. So now we'll go on to exactly where our conversions are going to happen. Do we want people to fill out an instant form? Do we want them to go to our website? Do we want them to go to our Instagram, WhatsApp? What do we want them to actually do once they've seen our ad and they like it? I'm going to set that to website. I want to send people to my website. I want to maximize the number of conversions I get from it. And if you've already got a pixel and conversion events set up, then you can choose exactly what action you want people to take when they go to your website or wherever else and actually convert into a customer. Go down here. Again, we've got stuff about budget, and we can say when we want it to start. Here is very important because this is where we set up our audience. Now, there are all sorts of options here, just from simple things like age and gender through to people with certain interests, certain jobs, that sort of thing. So we'll probably want, if you're a local business, you're going to want to restrict the location of your audience, so you're only targeting people in your locality. Once I'm done setting up my audience in this section and telling it exactly who I want my ads to show to, then we're going to go on to the next section, which is where we actually create the advert itself. And we could have several different adverts within that particular bit of targeting, saying we want to hit this age group, this gender, but we want to hit them with all these different ads and try them against each other. So let's try here. We'll put back pain ad 1. And then we come a bit further down here and we're going to actually create our ad. So here we go, create our ad. We're going to upload our own creative, which means our video, our image, or whatever else. And here we're going to tell it I'm going to start off with a single image or video. We'll then tell it again exactly where we're going to send people. We're going to send them to our website. And here we might want to have a particular link that we display, for example, name of our website /backpain. We can add on different buttons to the browser here. I'm not going to do that for now because I want people to go to my website and convert. Then here we're actually going to set up our ad creative. So let's say we have an image ad. And this is where we put things like headlines, descriptions, and the actual images that we're going to use in our campaign. So we can use this to put in a URL and find assets and find text and video on there. But we're going to leave that and set it up ourselves for now. So I'm just going to use this image here, this back pain image. And we'll probably want to crop that to different sizes so that when our advert appears in different places, it's still going to show correctly. You might also find with some of your images that it won't let you crop them and you'll need to update, you'll need to add something else for that particular screen size so that you have something that works in every screen size possible. Now we have our text here, so let's just add some primary text or headlines here. And it will give us some other options to go with that here. So we're going to leave all those for now, review them, have a look, see what you think of them. If they're not appropriate to what you're trying to say, then don't use them, use whatever you think is most right. We've got the same here, it's given us some other creative text generation here. And again, I'm going to add some more headlines in here. Let's use some of those things that we've got there. So let's try some other headlines. And then in here, we can put a longer description. We can set our call to action here as well, where we want people to click on a button that says learn more, book now, or whatever else that might happen to be. So let's go on to the next step. Here is going to create us some alternative images that we can use if we want to. I'm just going to say, yeah, let's use all of those for now. Here we can select different enhancements they can do. So for example, it can add music to your campaign, it can change your images, it can add overlays and this sort of thing. There's no right or wrong here. It's a good idea to experiment with this and see what works for you and what doesn't. Have a look, see what you like, what obviously is or isn't appropriate. So now that that's all done, we've created our ad and our ad should be ready to go. So here's all our creative as well for us to review again. And then what's really important here is that before we publish, we're going to go to advanced preview here and it will show us all the different ads that we could have created from this. So you'll see what it's going to look like in different locations, like somebody's Facebook feed, someone's sidebar on Facebook, in their Instagram feed, in an Instagram story, and so on. So that way you can have a look and see exactly what it's done with the different text and images you've given it to make sure that it looks the way you want it to in every different location, and go back and do any editing that you want to if you feel it's not quite right. Once that's done, I'm going to click save, and now my advert is ready. I just click publish and we are ready to go. Healthcare advertising rules. Now, obviously, healthcare is one of the most heavily regulated areas of advertising, and that's a good thing. It's for a good reason. We need to be very careful when we're creating our ads. Don't make any sensationalist guarantees or claims like instant cure or guaranteed cure. Most clinics are quite ethical and don't do this kind of thing anyway. There are two sides to navigating regulation in healthcare advertising. One is the official rules from the Advertising Standards Agency or whatever the regulatory body is in your particular country, and the other side is the rules that that particular platform set. Facebook, for example, won't allow you sometimes to put before and after photos because it's considered sensationalist content, or they won't allow you to imply that someone has a particular condition. So you can't say, for example, do you have diabetes? It will get rejected. Instead, you have to say something like, are you managing diabetes? Our clinic can help. So make sure that you check the official regulations for advertising in your particular area and your particular discipline, but then also check the regulations of the platform that you're advertising on. If it gets rejected, just find out why, read the rules, and try another ad that's more compliant. Perseverance. Lots of clinics try boosting a Facebook post or creating a social media ad. They run it for a while, don't get any results, and just conclude that's it, social media advertising doesn't work. Or even worse, they plow more and more money into the same ad, thinking that eventually, when they've paid enough money, the ad's going to pay off. But the real key to social media advertising is experimentation. When we run ads, we'll always start off with 4 or 5 different creatives, that's images or videos, and test them all against each other. We always find we get vastly different results. You can also test different ad copy, you can test different audiences, different times of day, different landing pages, and you can also experiment with how much you allow the platform to change and optimize your ad using AI versus how much you control it yourself, and see which gives you the best results. The key to success with social media advertising is really experimentation and optimization. Keep trying different things and making gradual changes, and eventually you'll converge on the ad that's most profitable for you. Section 2, measuring social media performance. Now that you're putting all this effort into your social media and possibly investing money in paid social media ads as well, how do you know if it's working? Let's talk about metrics and return on investment, what to track and how to interpret the data. Vanity metrics versus meaningful metrics. It's really easy to get hung up on things like how many likes did I get, how many followers have I got, how much engagement did I get, but those numbers don't tell the whole story. A post might have 100 or 1,000 likes, but is it likely to convert into patients? Are the people liking that post even people who have the potential to be your patients? Are they the right audience? Are they in your local area? If the goal of your social media is just patient acquisition, then don't get too hung up on how many followers and likes have I got. Think about the quality of the people who are liking your post and whether they're likely to become a patient. And the numbers that you need to track are things like website clicks, page views, bookings, and how many people actually contacted you as a result of that post. So let's look at a few of the key metrics to track and why they matter. Engagement rate. Engagement rate is much more useful to you than just the total number of likes because it shows the percentage of people who saw your post who actually engaged with it. In healthcare, a typical engagement rate is around 3 to 5%. That means if you're hitting that, then your content is resonating well with the people who are seeing it. If you're not hitting that, then try things like more interactive posts or try covering topics that your audience might be more interested in. Click-through rate or CTR. If you include links in your ads, say to your Book Now page or your contact page, your click-through rate will tell you the percentage of people who clicked on your ad and actually went through to your website. It's kind of the digital equivalent of someone seeing an ad for your clinic and then actually walking into it. If you're getting a good CTR but still not getting bookings or contacts, then the problem isn't with the ad, the problem is the next step and the page that people are going to after they click on the ad. Conversion rate. Now, this is ultimately the most important measure of your social media or your social media advertising. Of all the people that saw your post or your ad, how many actually went on to book an appointment? There are various ways to track this. If you're using an online booking platform, it can be tricky, but there are ways around it, like using dedicated landing pages with specific appointment types just for people who came from your ad. You can also offer a specific promotional code on social media, which will help you to see exactly how many people came from that campaign. Follower growth. Now, we all like to see more and more people following our page, but it's really about quality over quantity. Getting 500 local followers who engage with you and are likely to come to your clinic is much, much better than getting 5,000 who are spread around the country and might not really be interested in what you do. If you run local ads that have a call to action which takes someone to your website, see if your follower growth on that platform also increases with your ads. Reach and impressions will show you how many people actually saw your content. If your reach is quite low compared to your number of followers, then that implies that the algorithm isn't really favoring your content. Try creating different types of posts, posts that are more engaging, and make sure you post regularly and consistently. Retention. If you're doing videos, for example, for YouTube or Facebook Lives, then check the average watch time. If you're getting people watching 40 to 50% of the way in most of the time, then that's actually really good. If people are dropping off in the first 10 seconds or so, then you need to look at your intro and make sure you hook people in to watch the rest of the video. So what tools can you use to find out these metrics? Facebook Insights and Instagram Insights can give you a lot of this information. They'll show you how many people viewed your post, what the engagement rate was like, and even some information on the demographics of the people who viewed it. Google Analytics will also tell you how many people visited your website who came from social media. If you want to set up more granular conversion tracking, then you can also install the Meta Pixel on your website. That will allow you to see exactly how many people took a particular action, such as clicking a certain button or visiting a certain page. It is a little bit more technical to set up, but you can normally find an agency or a freelancer who will be able to set that up correctly for you. If you'd like to see a video on how to set up Meta Pixel tracking for healthcare clinics on your own website and how to set up this advanced conversion tracking, drop us a comment below and we'll get onto it. Interpreting results and iterating. Now, social media gives you loads of data on what your posts did, how they performed, who saw them, engagement rate, and so on and so forth. You have to take a mindset of continuous improvement and really use and analyze this data to make decisions about what's working for you and what's not. Then you can experiment, iterate, and try different things going forward. That's one of the big things we spend a lot of time doing as a marketing agency, always analyzing this data, making decisions and saying, how can we build on this and perform better and better? Measuring return on investment. Let's say you spent £100 on a Facebook campaign, you got 10 leads, of which 5 became clients, and they each had an initial appointment which cost £100. That's £500 revenue, which is a 400% return on investment. Of course, those patients could also come back in the future or refer other people, bringing more longer-term value. Most clinics actually underestimate the long-term value of getting a new patient and nurturing them well. They might come back in several years, they might refer other people, and that can go on for decades to come. So I told you this section was coming. This is section 3. We're going to look at handling feedback, comments, and negative reviews. 90% of people either read reviews or check social media before choosing a local business. The way you behave on social media and the way you respond to comments and reviews is visible. It's public, and the way you do it will either build trust or it will drive people away. Respond to all comments and reviews and try and do it as promptly as you possibly can. Even to positive reviews, a quick thank you left quickly after someone leaves a review goes a long way to building trust. And all research shows that consumers trust businesses much more when they respond to all reviews, including positive ones. Never, never ignore negative comments or negative reviews. They're out there, they're in public, and they're just left to fester. Make sure you address the issue straight away and build trust with anyone else who's looking at that review. Aim to reply within 24 hours at the latest, if not a lot sooner. This promptness signals professionalism to other people who are looking at that. So let's look at the do's and don'ts of responding to negative reviews or comments. First of all, the don'ts. Don't get defensive or argue publicly. Even if a comment is really unfair, just keep your cool or try and respond later on when you've got a clearer head. You can also ask someone else who's a bit less involved to help you craft a response that sounds considered and measured. Don't disclose any private information or even acknowledge that they were a patient. This is a big one because privacy laws actually forbid you from acknowledging that they were a patient at your clinic or having any sort of discussion about the treatment that they received. So if someone complains on the internet, I arrived at the clinic and they made me wait an hour, you can't actually respond saying, well, we've checked your records and it showed that you were actually half an hour late to your appointment and we had to reschedule. That's acknowledging that they were a patient and that they've come to your particular clinic for treatment, and it's against the rules. Instead, say something like, we're sorry that you didn't have a good experience. Please contact us at the clinic so we can resolve this with you directly. That addresses the concern without acknowledging any personal medical details. Don't delete or hide negative comments. Deleting a negative comment might just make that person even angrier. They could take further action, or they could troll you further on social media and make it become a real issue. Responding to the negative comment but leaving it there allows others to see that you can handle the issue calmly and professionally. Don't unleash staff to respond to negative reviews about them. Only a designated person such as the clinic owner should be responding to reviews with a consistent and courteous tone. And now the do's. Acknowledge and apologize if appropriate. Even a very generic apology like, we're sorry to hear that you had a bad experience, shows empathy. Patients who leave bad reviews want to be heard. Take it offline. After a brief apology, invite the person who left the comment or review to contact you and discuss it in person. You might say, we're sorry to hear that you had a bad experience. Please contact us at the clinic and ask for the practice manager so we can discuss this with you. This shows onlookers that you care and that you're responsive, and moves the more detailed conversation away from the public eye. Stay professional and kind. Thank them for their feedback and assure them that you're looking into it. If the comment is constructive, then you might say something like, thank you very much. We appreciate you bringing this to our attention and we will use this to improve our services. Fall back on general policy if you can. For example, if someone were to leave a negative comment saying that you refuse to let them leave their child with you, you can simply say, we're very sorry, we have a general clinic policy of not treating unchaperoned children. We're sorry if this wasn't explained to you. If you resolve a dispute following a negative comment, encourage them to go back and update the review. Some people will be happy to leave a footnote to their review saying that they did actually contact the clinic and you were able to resolve the problem for them. 64% of dissatisfied patients say they would return to a practice who properly handled and resolved their concerns. So replying gracefully and constructively to negative comments and trying to resolve the issue can not only bring you back business, but also make you look absolute gold in the eyes of anyone else reading those comments. Positive reviews. Remember to engage with positive reviews too. If possible, thank the person for their review by name and say that you're pleased that you helped them. Hey John, thanks so much for your great review. We're really pleased to hear that you're feeling better. You can also ask them for more reviews. Would you mind also leaving a review on our Google or on our Facebook page? A lot of satisfied customers who've already left one review will be happy to do so, and it will boost your review rankings on all other platforms. Boundaries. We've talked about how to deal with comments that might not be positive. But what if they go a step further and they're using harassing, abusive language or something like that? Your page should be a safe space, and it's perfectly appropriate to delete those comments when you see them. To cover yourself, create a community guidelines or page guidelines policy that states very clearly that you may remove posts if they're inappropriate. That way, you're covered. We've now looked at everything there is about social media. We've set up your profiles, we've talked about what to post and how to post, and we've gone right through to looking at setting up ads and analyzing the data that you get. Social media for your clinic is a journey. Start small, take it slow, and build along the way as you learn more and more and more. By implementing all the advice in this social media series of videos, you'll already be a long, long way ahead of most of the competition. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips and information on marketing your clinic. Grab our free step-by-step guide in the description to this video. And if we can help you at all with marketing your clinic, don't hesitate to reach out to us at BROXBOURNE Marketing. We help clinics to grow.